So today we'll with Docker Swarm. Now, what is Docker Swarm? Why do I need it? So basically what happens is that when I have a container, okay, it's a 1 or 2 container, I can manually manage it. But let me say if I go to an app where there are multiple containers like Uber microservice architecture. Now, if you talk about Uber microservice architecture, it will have a lot of microservices and each microservice is running in one container. So if you see this diagram, for me, Uber is a one mobile app, but inside that one mobile app, I have around 7 or 8 microservices, and each microservice is running on one Docker container. Now, if I have 100 users, I am dealing with 800 containers. If I have 10,000 users, I'm dealing with 8 into 10,000, which is 80,000 containers. And as and when my customers grow, the number of containers will become very big. And there will be a situation where I will not be able to manage them manually. And it becomes a serious problem for me to manage these containers manually. Okay, so in that case, what will happen? Some applications will work, some will not work, and then the customer will start getting a negative feedback. So now here, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to fix this problem. And to fix this problem, I'm bringing something called Docker Swarm. Docker Swarm. So if I go with Docker Swarm and I just want to see the definition, like what is Docker Swarm? So Docker Swarm is a container orchestration tool. And it says it allows the users to manage multiple containers and deploy across multiple host machines. So there will be multiple containers which will be running, and this Docker Swarm will do container orchestration for me. So when I say orchestration, what do I mean by that? There will be one person, single, he will be standing in the between, something like this. There will be one single person standing in the between, and he will be managing these guys. So if I come to the architecture of Docker Swarm, Docker Swarm architecture will look something like this. Okay, so this is first layer, which will have a range of master nodes, and the second one will have a range of worker nodes. Now, the good thing here is that here two things will be taken care. One, load balancing. Second one is auto scaling. Okay, and when I talk about auto scaling, it also takes care of my high availability. Now, what are these terminologies? What are you talking about? So the first is load balancing. So let me say this worker node is fully occupied. So the load or the incoming traffic which is coming will be distributed among these worker nodes. So it will not happen at any point of time that all the workload is being pushed on single worker node. So the worker nodes can distribute the workload, and hence I will not be only dependent on one machine. So this is known as load balancing. The other concept which comes here is auto scaling. Means if the demand is more, okay, there are many containers which are running. So I will go ahead and spin more containers, okay, and I will get my work done. But then if the count of the workload is less, I will decrease the containers. So auto scaling can be done in and out. In and out means scale in and scale out. Scale in means it will become big, and scale out means it will become big, and scale in means it will become small, the number of containers, and that will happen as per the demand. Means if more traffic is there, more containers, less traffic is there, less containers. So this is my auto scaling. Then the third is your high availability. Now, what do you mean by high availability? High availability. So generally what happens is there are containers. Okay, in this master slave architecture, I can see there are multiple containers. Okay, so if one container fails, okay, let me say I have 3 manager nodes. There are 3 manager nodes. If one manager fails, the workload will be distributed among these 2. Okay, and the benefit will be that not at any point of time there will be a downtime. Downtime in the sense the customers will face 404 service not available. So that kind of problem will not be there. So overall, if I see, if it comes to container orchestration, the containers can be managed, the containers can be taken care using my container orchestration tool, which is my Docker Swarm. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to implement Docker Swarm. Now to implement Docker Swarm, I have done one thing. I have a small document here in my GitHub link. GitHub. So if you come here, you will find this Docker Swarm thing. It talks about installation, how to work with this and all. Okay. So I'll go step by step. So the first step which I'm planning is I am going with one master and two worker nodes. So let's see how to implement this. So I already have one instance here. So let me just close all these things here. So I have my master node. Let me open this, come here. This is my machine. Running. No, it's not running. Come here, bring it up, start. So this is my master node. I'm just going to bring it up. And at the same time, I will create some replicas of this. Okay. Or I'll create copies of this. Let this first, let this machine come up first. So this is running right now. Now, if you want to create replicas of this machine, then you can come here, actions, images, and you can create an image. Okay. So I will create an image, but the thing is I've already done one image in the morning. So first let me delete it. Then I'll create more. And here I can see that. Yes, this is my AMI. So let me just go ahead and delete this. So when you start, you will not have anything like that, but okay. So let me start from here. So this is my EC2 dashboard. This is my instance running. This is running. I want to create copy of it or a replica of this. So I will do something like this, action. And if you don't want to do this, you can bring two more brand new instances and install Docker on that. Okay. So I am just trying to take a shortcut. So Docker images, that's it. And you can create an image here. Now it will take some time for me for this image to come online. If I come back here, here, it will be getting started. And currently it is in pending status, means it is getting created. And it will definitely take some 5 minutes for me to get this up. Okay, so I'll wait for this to come up. Meanwhile, I will go ahead and go to my instance, which is here, and try to log into this. How to log in? You can click on this. If you're using Putty, you can come here and say Putty. If you're using some other tool, you can connect via that tool. EC2 minus user is my user at the rate whatever IP address you got. This is my IP address. So I will say EC2 minus user at the rate whatever IP address you have. Appearance. Change the font size. 18. Okay. SSH. Go to auth. Go to browse. And this is my key. Okay. Just open it up. Did not connect. Let me just try again. I don't know what happened. Restart session. So there is a possibility because it is taking an image. So it is not allowed, or it is not allowing me, but I can try again.
Because while entering the IP, the space is copied. That's why.
That can also be a possible reason. If there is a typo, then that can be a reason for error. But this is still pending. Come to instances. Let's try it again. Put EC2 minus user @ take this IP address, copy it here, go to SSH, auth, browse, take the key, whatever you have, go to appearance, change the font size, and open it up. Yeah, this time it is going good. So I will log in as root user, sudo su -, and I will change the host name. I'll give host name as Docker master. Okay, and again sudo su -. Now, if I clear all these things, I can see that I'm logged in as a root user to my Docker master machine. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to install my worker nodes. Now there is no point in putting Docker Swarm because it is pre-built or preoccupied. Okay, so I will simply come to my documentation, which is here, and it says if you want to run Docker Swarm, just go ahead and say Docker Swarm init. So run this command, say Docker Swarm init. Now the moment you wait. Docker Swarm init. Okay. Use Docker Swarm leave to join another one. Docker Swarm leave. So there is some problem. Yes. Okay, let's clear out this thing. Now, if you want to start your work, the first thing which you should do is Docker Swarm init. Now, if you run this command Docker Swarm init, it says Swarm initialized. This is your node ID, and this acts as a manager node. Okay, and then it says if you want to make some worker nodes join this, then you run these commands on those worker nodes. Okay, and then suppose you forget this command, then you run this command Docker Swarm join token manager. So you will get this particular command. No need to memorize these commands, but you need to run this command on your worker node. Now, there is one important thing here. If you see carefully, you will see there is a port number here, 2377. So you should make sure that this port number 2377 is open in your security group. So I have already done that, but I'll show you again. So this is my Docker instance, security. Go to your security group. And in this security group, make sure that you're in your inbound section, 2377, the Docker Swarm port number is open. This is mandatory. In case you don't have, you have to do something like this, add rule, custom TCP 2377. Say I can connect from anywhere from IPv4 and just say it says for Docker Swarm like this. Okay, go ahead and save the root. And now you're all set. Now your master node is ready. Now you are going to create worker node. Now how to create worker node? So just come down here to your AMI, check whether your AMI is ready or not. So it is available. Now come back here, dashboard, instance running, launch instances, and here give the name as worker node. Okay, worker node 1, we'll give that name as worker node 1. And Amazon Linux, no, I'm going to use this my AMI because I've already created an image. So I can see this Docker image. So when you click on my AMI, it will show your image. And basically it's a copy of the image which you already have. Instance type is T2 micro. Key pair, I'm going to use whatever I used earlier. Security group, I'm going to use what I've used earlier, which is this Docker security group. And here I'm going in advanced detail. I'll say I need, wait. Summary, you say I need 2 worker nodes. If you want 5, you say 5. I need 2 worker nodes. Launch instance. So basically what will happen? 2 instances will be launched. 1, 2. Okay. So let me just come back to instances. I can see 2 worker nodes are coming up. I'll just rename them. One is worker node 1 and the other one I'll say worker node 2. Okay. So these 2 are the worker nodes which are still pending. It will come. Now, once it is up, you can either connect to them via PuTTY or you can directly connect, your call. So let me directly connect to them. Connect. I'm connecting via browser so that quickly my work happens. So this is root @ So I will change the name here. Okay. So I will say host name worker node 1. Okay. And sudo su hyphen. Now, to make this join the cluster, I will have to run this command, this particular command. Okay. The command is this. Run it here. Now let's see what happens. Okay. This is already part of Swarm. Okay. I tell you what is the problem. Docker Swarm. I did a replica, right? So that also got replicated. So let me just do it again. Okay. So I get a message. This node has joined the Swarm as worker. So this worker node has joined as a worker. This is important. Now go back, going to worker node 2, connect. Again, the same thing, connect. Let me become root user. So already a root user. Host name worker node 2. This is worker node 2 sudo su hyphen. Okay. Then come here and again run this piece of command which you have copied. But before that, Docker swarm leave -- force. Let me run this command and then run this command again. Paste. Which is Docker node has joined the swarm as worker node. So I have this and this as my worker node. Okay. And let me close those 2 guys. Now from my master node, this is my master node, right? If I come here and say Docker swarm ls.
Sir, why we are removing forcefully?
Because it is not allowing me to do normally. That's it. Okay. Now, if you just run this command, Docker node ls. Okay. You can see there are 3 machines together. Out of these 3 machines, this guy is acting like a master node or the leader node, and the other 2 machines are working as worker node. You can also see that all of them has this version of Docker installed. Now, as of now, if I come here and say Docker service ls, means is there any service or anything running? So as of now, I can see there is no service running. Now what I will do is I'll create a container. Okay, I'll just create this container. I'll tell you why I'm running this. So this is nothing but this is a Docker visualizer container. Now what it will do is it will help you to visualize. So I'll say 2 containers are running here, 1 is running here. So you will come to know how the workload is getting distributed. So this is the Docker sample visualizer and it is running at port 8080. Okay. So just for your visualization, I'm doing this. Okay. Come here, come back, Docker instance, take this IP address. Okay, so this is my visualizer. So if you see here, I have Docker master. Currently, nothing is running. Docker worker, nothing is there. Docker worker 2, nothing is there. So I have 3 nodes or 3 machines which are ready to take the traffic. Okay. Now let me start a service. So I will start a service by saying Docker create service, and I'm going to create 5 replicas of my Nginx, or I will run 5 containers here. So the command is Docker service create Nginx latest container, but the name I'm giving as web Nginx 1, and I'm running them at port 8082 or 8081. Why not 8080? Because 8080 I've already given to this guy, this sample visualizer. So I can run it at 8081 or whichever port I want. And I'm saying replica --5 means I need 5 instances of this Nginx. Run it. So here, if you see, 5 out of 5 tasks are running, waiting 4 seconds, 3 seconds. And it says service converged. Now, if I come here and say Docker service ls, you will see Nginx web 1 is running and 5 versions of that are running Nginx latest, and it is running at 8081. Now, if I go here to my visualizer, this is my visualizer. You can see here, this is how the workload got distributed. In my worker node, 2 went, another worker node 2 went, and 1 went to the master node. Okay. Now, suppose I increase the count. So there is a command to increase the count. So scale is the command.
Sir, where we have defined that?
What we have defined?
Worker node wise.
Initially, I showed you the configuration, right? When I was running this Docker init, I ran a command. So that command made this particular machine as master. Then there were 2 worker nodes. In those worker nodes, I ran the command and it made them as a worker node. Now, if you come here and say Docker node ls, I can see this is my leader node or the master node, and these 2 are my worker nodes.
This I understood, but can you go to that port?
This is the port here.
No, I'm talking about web port. Out.
This link has been shared yesterday in the class. If you're there in the group, WhatsApp group, you will get the link from the group. This
in
is
the
what...
worker.
Go ahead.
Yeah, sir, in the worker node, we have Nginx 1 and Nginx web 1. These 2 are distributed, no? Under worker node 2.
Yes.
Where we have defined that? That's what my question.
That is what Docker Swarm is doing. That is what Docker Swarm is meant for.
So it is automatically defining, or
yes, it is automatically doing it. That's what I told, right? In the beginning, I told Docker Swarm will go and do the load balancing.
So since it is doing automatic, it is fine. If suppose we wanted to connect to the particular server, then
there are options. Wait, hold on, I'll do that. But what I'm telling you is that initially only I told I did not get it. I want to follow as you work. So just ping in the group chi. I will share that link with you. Okay. So now if I come here and say Docker service ls, you will see that this guy is running Nginx web 1. There are 5 replicas of this is running, and it is running at 8081. And my Docker Swarm is doing a load balancing kind of thing. Gave 1 to the master, 2 to this worker node, and another 2 to this worker node. Now let me say the workload.
5 containers, you mean to say 5 replicas?
Containers. Yes, 5 containers. So here we don't say these are 5 containers. We are saying 5 services.
Okay.
So if you come here and say Docker ps-a, you will see here, see Docker ps-a, see here, your Nginx latest container is running some 3
For
minutes.
single job, 5 services, no, right?
For single job, 5 services, yes. Or you can say 5 different containers are running. That is also true. Okay.
Why? The service instead of service can't be create a container because service versus jobs are confusing now. In the
Okay, hold on. I'll tell you. See. Docker. Okay, when I started with this, I told that you will have one mobile app, but inside that one mobile app, 8 containers are running, right? Each container is doing one specific task. Okay, so if you say job, this entire item is one job, but inside this one job, there are 8 different containers which are running. In my example, that job which you're talking about, I'm saying it's a service. Okay, the job which is there, I'm saying it's a service, and inside that service, 5 different containers are running. Or in my example, 5 similar containers are running. Okay, so what I'm trying to show you here is that the functionality of Docker Swarm is to do load balancing, to do auto scaling, and to do high availability management. So these are the 3 things which I want to achieve here. So the first thing what I did is I configured master slave configuration. I had one master and 2 worker nodes. The master is saying that let me decide how much work will go where. Master, in my case, had 5 tasks to be done, or 5 services to be distributed, or 5 containers to run. It said, out of these 5 containers, I will take one of them and run in my environment. And then it was left with 4, and it distributed 2 to each of my worker nodes. Now I'm saying I will go ahead and change the configuration. So I'm saying now I need 8 containers. Let me say I need 8 containers. 5 were already there. I want to bring 3 more. So now it is saying scaled to 8. So now if you see 8 containers are running. Okay. And my Docker Swarm is going to distribute the workload. So if you come here and say Docker PS minus A, you can see here from last 7 minutes, sorry, this, wait a second, let me take this out from here, then it will be more clear. Okay, 3 additional containers came up. Now, these are the 3 additional containers which I am running from last 13 seconds. 1 second, man. Okay, so let me delete the things which are not required. Docker rm minus f. So this is not required. This is from my morning class. Okay, clear all these things. If I come here and say Docker PS minus A. So you can see here, this is the Docker visualizer which I'm running. It is running 9 minutes ago. Earlier, I had started this container, and inside this is Nginx Web 3. So more should be there. See, It is 3, it is 6, it is 8. Not showing me everything, but it should show something like this. I don't know why it is not showing.
Node containers, it is not showing anything. So worker
yes.
nodes.
That's what even I am thinking. Why it's not showing everything? Docker 3s minus a. See, it is showing you 8, 7, 6, 3. It is not showing you everything. I don't know why it is not showing. So see here, it is Nginx Web 8, Nginx Web 6, Nginx Web 3. So it is not showing everything, but these many containers are running. At least I can see it from here in the visualizer. So in the visualizer, I can see in my master node or my manager node, 3 containers are running. Okay, if you read this carefully, Nginx latest, there is a commit ID. Okay, running 1, 2, 3. Then on the worker node 1, 2, and this worker node 3. So the containers are getting distributed among the number of nodes which I have. So as of now, I have 3 plus 2, 5 plus 3, 8 containers. 8 containers are running, and it is not showing me everything, but I can
Docker service PS, you try Docker service PS.
see Docker services. If you say
Docker service PS.
no, that's not, there's no such command like this. If you say Docker service, so services, Docker service ls, it will say 8 replicas are running. You can see here.
PS, right? PS in the PS.
Does not work. There is no such command. Okay. So what I can see here is my 8 containers are running. 8 replicas are running. Okay. And with the name as Nginx Web 1. Now my requirement says that I want to bring them down. I don't want all of them to run. So from 8, I want to run only 1. Nginx scaled to 1 means now it will delete everything and only 1 container will run. See here, it has deleted everything, and out of that only 1 container is running. So if I come here, you can see, okay, basically what it is doing is whatever is running on the master node, it is showing that only. So this is where it is running. Okay. So here I ran this thing, right? So when I'm running Docker PS, it is only showing me the containers which are running on the master node. It is not showing me the containers which are working on the worker nodes. So if I come here and say Docker service ls, I can see 1 container is running and with the name as Nginx Web. Okay. Now again, I want that 5 containers should run. And it is pushing some 5 containers here.
Sir, if suppose if after removing the remaining 5 containers, the master node will be having all the data, right?
It will just control the stuffs. All the data is distributed. So 5, right? Come here. See, in this 5, 1 is with master, 2 with this worker node, and 2 with this worker node. Okay. So one thing which I'm very easily able to see here is that I can scale in and scale out as per my requirement. If I need more instances, I can just use the scale command and bring more instances to my work. If I don't need them, I can just drop them. Second, whenever I have more number of services, these get distributed among the master as well as the worker node. Okay. Now, till this point, anybody is having any question?
Because
regarding the scaling and scale out, if the containers we are scaling out, then will the ID changes on the containers?
Yes, definitely the ID will change. Every time when you spin a new container, the ID will change.
Okay.
because one thing, if the traffic is load is 100%, if we have the replica of 5, And will it be automatically
No, there is
increase
no
it?
automatic thing here. There is no
Okay.
automatic thing here. These are the limitations which I have in Docker Swarm. And just in some time, I will show you that how to overcome those limitations. But as of now, whatever I'm showing you, that is what all Docker Swarm can do. It
Okay,
can,
the overcome will be in Kubernetes, right?
yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay. What if the container got something crashed or something in the limitation thing? How it goes?
Okay, if the container is gone, that particular service will be gone. Okay.
Because Deepti here, I
Yeah.
have just one more question that regarding here, we can see the 5 containers are running and one is running in the master, 2 in the worker node 1 and second another 2 in worker node 2. So these things, this container and this node binding, that is handled by the Docker Swarm, or
Yes.
is there any specific
No, Docker
configuration?
Swarm. Docker Swarm is doing everything. As a person, I am not doing anything. As a person, I'm only telling how many containers I want. I need 5, 10, 15. I'm just giving a number here. Based on that, it is either configuring them or dropping them. So I've just now given a number as 16. I have
Okay.
not done any node binding. I have not done any load distribution. The load distribution is automatically being done here.
Okay. Yeah.
This is the purpose of this tool. The purpose is that it will do load balancing. It will keep the nodes together. All the 3 nodes in my example, 1 master, 2 worker node, all will be kept together. Okay. And if the requirement is that I don't need these many machines, I need only 1 machine. So it will slowly go and terminate all the other machines. And I just now said I need only 1 machine. So you can come back here and you can see only 1 machine is left. All the machines are truncated or removed. So now manually, I don't have to delete the files. Manually, I don't have to go and say Docker RM and all those things. I can do it from the Docker Swarm cluster by running these commands. Okay. Now,
Thank
you attach volume to it, so that way, if you lose your container and then you restore it, you will get back the volume.
yes, the volume will be restored. That concept is definitely there. I'll just show you that particular thing here. So as of now, I have done that. I am going to scale, or I'm going to run some 5 containers. Okay. So I am running some 5 containers, CLEAR. And you can see here that this is the setup right now. In my manager node, I have 2 machines, 2 nodes, 2 containers, here 1 and here 2. Now, due to some reason, let me come here and say Docker node ls. Now, due to some reason, this leader node, which is currently active, is terminated, or somebody has manually deleted that, or something went wrong with this. What will happen? Let me just come up with that command. So I'm saying Docker node update the availability as drain. So as of now, the leader node availability is active. I'm saying update the availability as drain, and my master node's name is Docker-master. So now if I come here and say Docker node ls, I will see the leader node is drained. Okay, or the leader node is no more in a position to take workload. What happens to the items which were running here? So if you see here, because my manager is no more available to take the workload, it has very gracefully moved the workload to the worker node. If the worker node is also gone, so what's the worker node 1? Worker node 1 is also gone. So this machine has also drained. It will gracefully transfer all the workload here. Now the question is, if the third one is also gone, then everything is gone. Okay. So this is what it is doing. It is taking care of the load balancing. It is trying to balance the workload. And whenever the machine will come up, so as of now, my worker node 2 is sufficient to take the workload. Okay, so it will not shift the work. So I'll make it active again. And Docker node ls, I can see this has become active, and I will make this also active. My master node, master Docker master. Okay. Docker node ls. I can see all the three of them are active, but because my worker node 2 was sufficient to take the workload, it says, okay, fine, leave it. I will only do it. Next item will come, you people take it. So this is.
I have one question here.
Yeah.
Is there any chances of making master node as a worker node and worker node as a master?
No, that will not happen. While doing the configuration itself, you ran that command called docker swarm init. Wherever you run that command docker swarm init, that by default becomes.
Suppose one worker node has the more important data, so I
then
wanted
take a
to make
backup of that. You do a -v and take backup of that. The architecture cannot be messed up. The architecture is very stringent. There will be master node and worker.
So there won't be any amendment possible.
No, not possible.
Thank you.
Now, there will be, or on Docker Swarm, I majorly do three things. One is load balancing, which I showed you. Second is auto scaling, which I do manually. And the third one is if there is a failover, I gracefully pass the workload from one machine to another. But still, there are a lot of limitations. There are many things which I want to do, but I cannot. Okay. Like I need auto scaling. Hold on. I need auto scaling, but I need it to be done via some workload. Means as soon as the traffic comes, the machine itself should scale up. I should not go and do it manually. If there is a failover, it should automatically say that, okay, there is a failover, let me heal, or self-healing. So there are many concepts which Docker Swarm lacks. Theoretically, it looks good that, okay, fine, that these small things, no, I will do it. But there are many things which Docker Swarm lacks. And that's the reason when I go and just simply say Docker Swarm market share, I see some only 4% of people are using Docker Swarm. So which this number is very small. But at the same time, Kubernetes market share, it is almost 96%. Means out of 100, 96% of my crowd is using Kubernetes. So definitely there is something which is very good about Kubernetes, and there is something which this tool Docker Swarm seriously lacks. One very good thing is that Docker Swarm is not production ready, in the sense when you learn something, you would like to implement it at a project level. It has been found that whenever Docker Swarm is implemented at project level, at a certain point, it collapses or it is not able to handle the workload. Whereas Kubernetes is easily able to do all these things. With Kubernetes, there is one small problem, that it is complex. At least the installation and the initial part is complex. But once you do the installation and once you know the basic things, it is very, very, very handy. And that's why Kubernetes is valued much more than Docker. How are they related? Will Docker help me a lot, or it will not help me at all? All these questions I will answer tomorrow when I'm starting Kubernetes. But as of now, what I have done is I have shown you how to do a container orchestration. In the container orchestration world, undoubtedly Kubernetes is the market leader, but I should know what are the alternatives available. Yes, the alternatives are not that great, but still I should know what is the alternative to Kubernetes. But as of now, we don't have a very solid alternative to this tool. Okay, now I'll open it
So
for
this is only for education purpose, no, sir, which
Yes,
you are
it
teaching
is
now.
only for learning purpose, education purpose. Theoretically, you may be asked some question on that. That's why I was telling you. Else, apart from that, at a production grade level, hardly people use it.
Okay, thank you.
If master node goes down, all worker node will go down.
No, that does. I just now showed you.
That will be distributed to the other worker nodes.
Exactly.
Correct, sir?
Yes, I just now showed you in the class. If my master node drains, means it is not able to take the workload, it will gracefully transmit the workload to the other machines.
And sir, one more thing. Is there any possible to change a particular worker node has one file which is very critical, and then can I move that workload to the master?
That can be done, but if you talk about data, it is good that you take a backup of the data in terms of volume.
Okay. How to take up that backup of the data?
By
Can you please-
using volume -v.
Okay.
What would be the use of Docker master node as workload transfer? What would be the use of Docker master? Master is for management purpose, I told, right? Initially, when we start, most of the management work will be done by master node, and the workers will be given the major of the work to be done.
The master container crash, so we can make another container to master.
Yes, that can be done. You run Docker init and make that as master. That can be done.
Okay, so we can run on worker node or another node
Worker
container.
node will remain as a worker node. You're not changing that. That
So
is not going to change.
We have to create new container.
We have to create a new container, and that you make as a master node.
Okay. And sir, in nowadays, only Kubernetes is using. Docker
Yes.
is not using.
Docker is there. Docker Swarm is not being used. Docker still is there.
Okay, Docker is using, but no, Docker Swarm is removed.
Yes, kind of.
Yeah,
Sir, a small question, sir. You told that we can scale down to one. Suppose one job is running and we have scaled down to one, and that job is not mandatory. It is running on worker node. It can run on a worker node or a master node, right?
It can run anywhere. But suppose suppose there is a machine. Can you go on mute? Now, suppose there is a machine and it is running a task. At the same time, you have terminated your machine. So that task will also stop abruptly.
If you have, because you created them 3 servers now, one for the master and 2 for workers. And let's say you now spin up like maybe 20 replicas. How would AWS charge you for the 20 replicas? Because all those replica sets are servers too, right?
You will be charged for all 20 of them.
Oh, not the 3 that is on your console.
No. 3 plus 20. You will be charged for everything.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, because if I want to deploy containers only in worker nodes, how can I manage that one?
Those things will be done in Kubernetes. Here, there are no such options. Even if there are options, I have never explored it because it's a kind of dead end to go ahead and learn Docker Swarm, because nobody, if you say I know Docker Swarm, nobody will say, okay, fine, good. But then the moment you say I know Kubernetes, people say, okay, fine, let's have an interview. Okay. So Docker Swarm is a dead end. If you want, you can find a lot in Docker documentation, but I don't find any point in spending money.
One more thing, how we can manage the volumes? It's same like we individually we have to configure the volumes in worker nodes as well, or in the Docker Swarm we can manage it.
While spinning your cluster, you just use -v flag. That's it. You don't do anything else.
Okay. Yeah, thanks.
Can I specify node 1 having this many services and node 2 this many services?
No. See, you can try, man. I have not tried Docker Swarm because there is no use of doing anything here. You can, okay? you need to explore on that. I have not worked, so I cannot tell you like full-fledgedly that yes, it will work or no, it will not work. But I have not tried all these things because there is no point in spending time and money here. So I have not tried. Okay. But if you want to try, yes, you can. Okay.
Because one query, not only in Docker Swarm, normally if any service is going down, how will come to know like this service was stopped?
The
And
service, see, there will be end user related to that. Okay. The end user will start facing problem. The second is we continuously monitor our applications at any point of time. If some server fails, before the customer complains, our monitoring team should go ahead and let us know that this application has failed.
like this monitoring will be done by DevOps guy or
there will be a support team. So DevOps person, what he will do is he will implement the entire CI/CD pipeline, and then he will hand it over to the support team. In support team, there will be people who will be going and doing all these things.
okay, monitoring and informing, right?
Yes. Okay, fine. See you then, guys, tomorrow. One more very important thing for those people who have not enrolled, please go ahead and enroll yourself. You will be added to the WhatsApp group which the coordinators have created, and from there only you will be getting the links. So in case you have not done the payment, you have not enrolled, going forward, you will not be getting the links. Okay. So if you want, please go ahead and get enrolled. See you then, guys.
So just one clarification. From when you will be starting the AWS?
Tomorrow I'll be starting Kubernetes, then Terraform, then we go to AWS.
Okay, where in AWS, which will be required for only DevOps, that much only you are going to teach, right?
No, the course curriculum was shared with you, right?
Yeah, but I have no idea what is required for.
Okay, you ping me separately. I will let you know what all is required. Okay, fine. See you then, guys.